All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got another fine comic up here, so put your hands together, make him feel at home. It's his first time here. Make some noise for Tim.
Hello. My name's Tim. This is my first time doing stand-up in front of people. My wife is recording this for posterity, and she's not heard most of my stuff because I just wrote it and practiced it on myself, so it could be completely unfunny, I'm not sure. A little bit about myself. I'm 42 years old. My towel is in the car. I didn't forget it. I have early onset Parkinson's, so I've been out of work for a while, disabled, and I figured I gotta do something. So that's why this has been my New Year's resolution for about the past 3 years going. So maybe now that I'm doing it, I can also, learn Spanish, lose 40 pounds, quit heroin. Now, I have good times and I have off times, so sometimes I get stuck and I'll just stare off into the sky. So something like that happens, just somebody throws something at me and either I'll catch it or it'll hit me and I'll snap out of it. But it's kind of fun because, sometimes I'm all the way here and sometimes I'm here and I dealt with somebody else the other day when I was not here and I just could not brain at all. And now they're talking to me like a 4-year-old, and it's great. And I'm fully cognizant having people talk to me like a 4-year-old, but not really like a 4-year-old, because when I was a 4-year-old, I got called cocksucker a lot more than I do now. Because my mother sucked. Yeah, so I'll lose 40 pounds, stop the heroin, that's right, okay. So I am clearly a fat guy. I'm overweight, obese, but I have won the fat people lottery because it is a symptom. I have a doctor who I walk to and doesn't say, you're too fat, that's your problem. My doctor sent me to a specialist for my brain, and he said, oh, lose 40 pounds and then we'll do this and this and this. I went back to the doctor, and my doctor literally said, that's bullshit. We had you mostly okay when you were not fat, so I need to send me if you can find a doctor who doesn't blame it on fat, not a lot of fat people in here, but you know that it's golden. Let's see what else. Okay. Yeah, so it is my first time, and I thought about dressing up real nice, either a shirt and tie or a polo or something like that, but then I thought, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I don't, this is hard, this is scary, I don't want to do this. I want to sit in a room somewhere where full of pot smoke and Funyuns and write jokes for somebody else to get up here and tell you people, or get to turn. So that's my goal here, is not to do this. This is hard, this is scary, but it's actually kind of fun too. So, my phone keeps turning off. Okay, so there's one place I need a segue that I don't have, and it's from going from me to the whole act. So I mentioned my wife. I have a 16-year-old daughter who's learning to drive. That's a whole thing. We're getting ready to go on a family road trip, 2 weeks, and we went on one 2 years ago, right after COVID. We decided to go the big road trip. We drove up from here. Our first stop was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So when we left, we had reservations in Hershey, Pennsylvania at 12 o'clock noon the next day, and the GPS said we were going to arrive at 3 o'clock. So we got to Hershey, Pennsylvania by 12 o'clock by not stopping and scaring the hell out of my family. But we had some fun there. We had a felony amount of free samples that were clearly marked not samples. And then we went to the hotel, checked in. We were so damn tired. I mean, I drove all night, all day. I looked like a beast. I was haggard, and then they had screwed up our reservations. and they were blaming the reservation website, Expedia, whatever, and we ended up getting the right reservation, and they were just ticked off and rude and everything. And so we got to get to the room, and finally we're set up and everything. And my wife realizes that she had forgotten her razor, and we've been in the car for 26 hours, but she wanted a razor before we went and saw our friends. So I don't like to share my business, says the guy who is telling everybody my business. But I went down to the woman who was just helping us, knowing perfectly well that they had razors and stuff, and I don't want to go down there and just tell her any of my business. I don't say my wife forgot her razor, not her business. So I just went down and said, hey, forgot my razor, can I have one? She gives me a look, and this was when, like, right after COVID, I had, my COVID hair was about 5 times longer than this, my COVID beard. She took one look at me and came back with 2 razors and 2 shaving creams. And I said thank you, and I was about to walk away. She said, hold on 1 second, and she made me wait 45 seconds, and she came back with a 3rd razor. Just in case. Just because she was still annoyed that the whole thing, anyway. I bring the razors to the room, my wife cleans herself up, we go to sleep, we get up the next morning, go to breakfast, still the same lady, still the same hair. She's looking at me like, what the hell did you use those razors for? So I spent the whole breakfast picking at my ass and acting like it was itchy. Thanks for the 3rd razor, lady.
She's laughing.
The same trip that we went to Ripley's Believe It or Not in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And that's a whole lot of fun, a lot of cool exhibits and whatnot. My favorite bit was the horrible wax figures that look nothing like what they're supposed to look like. Like, Rocky's missing an arm, and like Elvis looks more like Stallone. So I'm walking through this museum, and it's day like 17 of a 14-day road trip. I'm tired and I'm cranky, my legs hurt, I'm Parkinson's all over the place. But I'm trying to have fun, and I'm just, every time we see these wax figures, I'm making fun of them. And then we get to this exhibit of little tiny miniatures by this guy named Willard Wiggin. They're amazing. This guy made little tiny everything, like painted things with the hair on his head and everything. And there's a video playing of Willard Wiggin talking about what he does, sitting right next to his horrible wax figure. I was sitting there looking at this guy, looking at the thing, looking at the picture, looking at the figure, looking at the picture, looking at the figure, for it had to be a minute, because the tape actually restarted, and I saw it for more than once. I looked over to find my wife, to call her over, as I'm about to say, look how horrible it is. They got a black guy with a beard. That's about all that matches. And right as my mouth was opening to tell her that, the statue blinked. And I turned horrified to my wife, and I whispered her story to her really quickly. And I was like, am I a racist? And she says, I don't know, but think how he looked. You know, he's been standing there staring at you for a minute, looking back and forth. And my only thought was, yeah, but I'm a Parkinson's mess right now, so hopefully he's judging me and looking at me, and he's the asshole in the situation. I definitely understand that, you know, if I'm going to become a comic, talking about race is an issue, and it's not something I want to do, but I have to call myself on. I definitely grew up with a privilege. I used to tell my little brother that he was a young white man, he could do anything he wanted, and I thought I was encouraging him. And I never realized there was a downside to that. And like, even now, somebody will, you know, I'll hear a stereotype or a joke or something I used to think is funny, and I'll catch it, and I still have my favorite racist joke, and I'm going to tell it, and it's really, I'm not going to get canceled, I promise. Okay. The joke was told to me, and I told it to one of my best friends. The joke is, what do you call a black man flying a plane? A pilot, you frickin' racist. I thought it was a funny joke. I told my friend. My friend told his father, who was, in fact, a giant frickin' racist. The next morning, my friend's father came. My friend's mother came to him and said, "Casey, I have a question to ask you about a joke that you told your father that he was trying to tell me, and I didn't get it." And Casey said, "Okay, Mom, tell me the joke." And what she actually said verbatim is, "What do you call an N-word pilot?" That was a pilot, you're racist. That was the joke that this man told his wife and thought he was hilarious. So, that's about all I got. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Tim.